We need to talk. Because this time, the storm online isn't just noise, it's fury with a reason. Cardi B is under intense fire after a comment involving a young child sent shockwaves across social media, followed by an apology that many are calling hollow, performative, almost mechanical. The controversy isn't just about the words, it's about the way it unfolded, the timing, the intent, and the fallout. Critics argue that the apology only came because she was live, watching the outrage spread in real time, like a fire she suddenly noticed flickering in her own backyard. Some see it as a hasty move to douse the flames, a surface-level gesture rather than true ownership. Others claim it fits a long, familiar pattern, a streak of impulsive reactions and unchecked online drama that has shadowed her for years. That's exactly why we're diving deep, unpacking the moment that set the internet ablaze, exposing why the apology failed to convince, and revealing why so many feel Cardi B's online persona has been pushing boundaries for far too long.
White girl said they weren't gonna win! Fuck that bitch! I told ya! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that.
The outrage erupted over the words Cardi B chose, words many felt cross a line when a young child was brought into the story. The child was only 4, completely innocent, and yet suddenly thrust into a maelstrom of public attention. Intent, context, or frustration didn't matter. The clip ignited online almost instantly. Once it started circulating, the backlash spread like wildfire. Children, after all, are supposed to be untouchable in the chaos of adult disputes. This isn't about taking sides or picking favorites. The moment a child is dragged into celebrity drama, the conversation shifts from gossip to ethics, from spectacle to accountability. Some fans tried to redirect the focus, pointing to other artists' past missteps, but the argument fell flat. Repeating the same behavior cannot be justified by history. And what made the reaction even more intense was the fact that the child had done absolutely nothing to provoke any of it. She was simply existing in the moment, and yet found herself in the crossfire. Another point fueling criticism was the timing of Cardi B's apology. Many argue it only appeared because she was live, watching the backlash explode in real time. Social media users are now asking the hard question: would an apology have come at all if the storm hadn't hit immediately? What gets overlooked in these defenses is the scale of influence she wields. Cardi B isn't just a person venting online. She's a force with a massive platform, shaping conversations and opinions with every word. Visibility carries responsibility, whether she acknowledges it or not. She's not merely a rapper, she's a social media titan whose every utterance carries weight, intended or not. And that weight matters now more than ever, because after the clip went viral, reports surfaced that the little girl at the center of the controversy began receiving negative attention online, an innocent caught in the ripple of celebrity recklessness. This critical detail, however, is being overlooked far too casually. The one fact that keeps getting lost amid the noise is painfully simple. This is a child. A child cannot agree to be dragged into public scrutiny, cannot defend herself, and certainly did not volunteer to become part of a viral controversy. She wasn't arguing, reacting, or seeking attention. She was just living her small, ordinary life. From what the footage revealed, she was outside, playing quietly, moving rocks, completely absorbed in her own little world. There was no hidden message, no insult, no provocation. And that's why the public reaction was not about hate. It was about shock, concern, and disbelief. People were left asking, why is a completely innocent child being pulled into adult drama at all? This is a moment when the story shifts, when a celebrity misstep turns into a much deeper conversation about ethics, boundaries, and responsibility.
Certain type of way, and I'ma come for you. Like, if I gotta talk about your kids, I will. If you got rest in peace, this, and that, I'ma talk about that dead person that you're talking about. I'ma really hurt your feelings. Like,
over time, Cardi B has earned a reputation for letting her emotions dictate her online presence. She doesn't step back. She dives in, searches her own name, storms comment sections, and confronts critics head-on instead of letting things simmer. Small sparks repeatedly ignite massive explosions, all unfolding live for millions to witness. This pattern isn't new. It's become woven into her public identity. Heated arguments, messy exchanges, and chaotic moments have become the hallmarks people now expect from her. Some argue that this relentless online storm spills over into her personal life, coloring how her relationships are perceived. Fair or not, that perception resurfaces with every new controversy. What frustrates fans is a predictability. Backlash builds, and instead of full accountability, there's a scramble to steer the narrative. Quick fixes replace reflection, deflecting attention from the real issues at hand. That's why so many insist this isn't about a single comment or one-off mistake. It's a recurring pattern. And observers note something crucial. Cardi B is rarely held to the same standard she expects from others. That inconsistency fuels criticism, keeping it alive. For almost anyone else, the public reaction would be harsher, more unforgiving. Early in her career, this bold, fiery approach worked, It felt raw, authentic, untamed. People connected with that energy, believing they were seeing the real her. Back then, her energy was raw, relatable, authentic. She spoke from her roots, from where she came from, and fans felt it in every word. It made sense, it resonated, it was human. But fame changes the game. By 2026, the spotlight is brighter, the stakes are higher, and that same unfiltered approach no longer translates the way it once did. With massive visibility comes enormous responsibility, and part of that responsibility is knowing when to speak and when to step back. True growth isn't just turning up the volume on reactions, it's learning, adjusting, and holding yourself accountable. And now, let's address the elephant in the room. Imagine if Nicki Minaj had been accused of saying something inappropriate about a child. The internet would have erupted. Headlines would dominate every outlet. Social media would flood with think pieces dissecting her character. Calls for cancellation, boycotts, and consequences would be relentless. There would be no soft landing, no grace period, no moving on quietly. The pressure will be merciless, and the backlash unrelenting. That's exactly the contrast people are pointing out now. When it comes to Cardi B, the response feels different. The narrative bends quickly toward excuses. She apologized, so it's over. They say she was emotional, so give her a break. And yet, that same understanding is rarely extended to anyone else facing the same allegations.
I'm sorry, Cardi B. What was that?
That little white girl said they weren't gonna win. Fuck that bitch! I told ya! I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say.
Yeah, that was the classless Cardi B on her Instagram Live in front of her millions of followers screaming, "That little white girl? F that little B." So what did that little white girl say that was so awful? What did she do? Well, she made this video.
No. Buffalo! 49ers!
That's it. That's what she did. Her and her dad make cute little videos where every single game she picks which team she thinks is going to win by picking the football helmet. And apparently when Cardi B's team won, she decided to hop on her Instagram Live, and to a child she doesn't know, to a 4-year-old little innocent girl, she decided to scream to her followers, "F that little B." But then all of a sudden, Cardi, you had a realization real quick, and I could see it in your eyes. You forgot you were on Instagram Live and you couldn't cover it up. You couldn't edit that out. So you decided to immediately go, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. No, you did mean it. You knew exactly what you were saying when you said it. You just instantly realized you couldn't cover it up. You couldn't cover up the terrible things you said to an innocent little girl, and you tried to backtrack it. That's pathetic. And you know what's equally as pathetic? In the comments sections, you have grown-ass people saying things like this. You put your child on the internet. You should know what comes with it. You use your daughter for money. You commercialize your daughter and expect it to go well? Are you fucking serious with these comments, people? So let me get this straight. Instead of siding with the dad and the daughter, be like, "Damn, that's really wrong to scream F that little B from a celebrity to an innocent little 4-year-old," some of you are siding with Cardi B and saying that's what you get for posting your kid on the internet. No. No parent and child deserves outright hatred thrown at them on social media over simple, cute little videos. You know what's really sad is the dad sent me that video, and he was telling me about how hard it is to see all the hate they're receiving online over a simple little football video that they made, and how him and his daughter use the NFL to bond, and he teaches her things like her colors, geography, and math when they watch the games and when they learn about the NFL together. The dad and his little girl over an innocent little video ended up on the dark side of the internet and have celebrities now saying F that little B to a 4-year-old girl off of a video they made. Cardi B wants to say F that little B to that innocent little girl? No. Fuck you, Cardi. You are a classless piece of trash, and so are all of your followers who stand behind you saying that that little girl and her dad got what they deserved. You are all garbage.
Another layer of this story lies in how her image is constantly tied to the men in her life. Since her high-profile link to Offset, critics have suggested her confidence and public persona shifted, especially when it comes to industry clout and competition. Fair or not, that perception keeps resurfacing every time her behavior is questioned. But the bigger picture isn't about a single moment. It's about a recurring pattern, double standards, and a lack of real accountability. Now, with her public association with Stefon Diggs, many feel she's adopted a whole new aura, moving like she's untouchable, like she suddenly stepped into an elite, untouchable stratosphere overnight. But the pushback is strong. Critics argue that this newfound confidence feels forced, borrowed, and unowned. Online voices remind everyone that dating a football star doesn't automatically elevate someone to a different tier. Titles, proximity, and associations don't create status. It's earned, proven, defined. That is exactly where most of the debate is centered. Not jealousy, not hate, just cold, hard realism. And let's be clear, this isn't about fan wars or picking sides. This isn't an attack just for the sake of it. The core issue remains unchanged. A child should never be dragged into adult chaos, especially when the situation doesn't even merit that kind of attention. That is the boundary the public is standing on. Children do not volunteer to be part of online drama. They gain nothing, and they should never be made a talking point, directly or indirectly. Once that line is crossed, the focus no longer rests on celebrity antics. It lands squarely on accountability. And accountability doesn't mean canceling. Accountability doesn't mean destroying someone's career or pretending their achievements never happened. It means recognizing when a boundary has been crossed, confronting it honestly, adjusting behavior, and making visible changes moving forward. That responsibility becomes even heavier when someone wields influence and visibility. Whether people admit it or not, word from public figures travel further than they realize. And when those words land wrong, shrugging it off instead of reflecting only fuels a cycle, letting mistakes echo. This controversy keeps circling back to a single, often ignored truth. Influence amplifies responsibility. At Cardi B's level, every public action carries weight, intended or not. The internet is no longer a casual venting space. It's a pressure cooker where words ripple outward, landing on people who never asked to be involved. That's why so many argue this moment demanded reflection, not a hasty apology or a push to move on. The reason the criticism lingers is simple. It's not isolated. Audiences are reacting to years of similar incidents, moments charged with emotion, handled impulsively, repeated over time. Patterns build expectations, and repeated missteps erode trust. Apologies start to feel hollow when they sound familiar. Real growth isn't just saying sorry, it's showing it through action. And yet another layer keeps surfacing. Celebrity culture bends rules depending on who's involved. Some stars are granted grace, while others are dragged mercilessly for the same, or even smaller, offenses. That inconsistency drives frustration. Accountability cannot hinge on popularity, alliances, or personal fandoms. Flexible rules send a dangerous message. Influence shield behavior instead of correcting it. What the public truly demands isn't punishment, it's maturity. There's a stark difference between explaining yourself and escalating chaos. Knowing when to step back, set boundaries, and protect those who cannot defend themselves is a mark of responsibility. Those without a voice in the conversation should always take precedence, especially when children are involved. Sometimes silence is more powerful than any statement. Not every incident demands commentary, and not every criticism deserves a reaction. Ultimately, this moment has grown far beyond a single clip or a single apology. It has become a lens into a larger, ongoing discussion about how public figures navigate the immense weight of their platforms. Fame magnifies everything: your voice, your presence, and most importantly, the consequences of your actions. Knowing when to step back, when to reflect, and when to course correct is part of the evolution that comes with visibility. Until those lessons are learned and visibly applied, situations like this will keep resurfacing, and the questions about accountability will keep coming, relentless and unyielding. At its core, this debate is about growth and responsibility. Fame doesn't just amplify, you shrink in the margin for error. At Cardi B's level, every comment, every reaction, every surge of emotion is broadcast, dissected, and amplified. This isn't hate. This is reality. Denying it only allows the same patterns to repeat. People aren't reacting to one fleeting moment. They're reacting to the absence of pause, the lack of forethought that seems to precede these incidents. There's a fine line between authenticity and recklessness, between standing up for yourself and dragging others into the spotlight who never asked to be there. The public isn't demanding perfection. They're demanding judgment, discernment, and care, especially when the stakes involve someone who cannot defend themselves. This controversy also shines a harsh light on the uneven scales of accountability in celebrity culture. Some stars are forced to defend themselves endlessly, scrutinized under a microscope, while others can apologize once and move on, barely questioned. That glaring double standard is exactly why the conversation refuses to die down. This isn't about fan wars or picking sides. It's about fairness. When rules only apply selectively, trust in public figures erodes fast. There's another lesson buried here. Silence can be more powerful than any response. Not every controversy demands an immediate statement. Not every criticism requires a reaction. Sometimes, the wisest move is to step back, reflect privately, and let emotions settle before stepping into the spotlight again. That restraint speaks louder than any public explanation ever could. At the end of the day, accountability isn't about canceling careers or erasing achievements. It's about recognizing the ripple effect of your words, not just your intent. Influence travels farther than most imagine, landing in places you never expected. When those with power fully grasp this and adjust their actions, credibility grows instead of faltering. Whether this moment sparks lasting change remains uncertain. But one thing is clear, the conversation is evolving. Audiences are watching not just for quick apologies, but for meaningful actions. As expectations climb higher, public figures will continue to face relentless pressure to meet them. And before you go, make sure you hit that like button if you're riding with us. Subscribe if you're a real one, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss a single chaotic update. Believe me, you'll want to be here for what comes next.